with the Coach Diddy Whitlow of the Moravia Mohawks, and boy, it's the great season continuing. You figured that if you went out and took care of business, that you should be able to handle Melcher. You guys did that, but it's always glad to get them behind you. You guys are 8-0 now. You've got the Seymour Warriors to come. We'll get to that game in a minute, but let's talk about the Melcher game. It looks like you guys certainly should have focused and just went out and took care of business.
Yeah, after the week before with the Twin Cedars game where we didn't feel like we played up to our potential, the boys wanted to come out, and that was something that we stressed. We wanted to come out and show our full potential and not overlook a team like I think we had a little bit against Twin Cedars. And we went out and put 42 points up in the first quarter, and our young guys got a lot of playing time after that, so that was a good thing. We had 2 teams cancel on our JV season this year because of lack of numbers. So it was good to give them in some extra playing time since we had lost 2 JV games this year. But, they came in. We didn't feel like they responded very well the second quarter, which Melcher still had most of their starters in. So even though, we were up 42, actually we were up 50-0 at halftime. They did score once in the second quarter, or we scored once in the second quarter, but we felt like after scoring 42 in the first quarter, our JV kids should have been able to come in and do a little bit more, moving the ball, and they just weren't quite as aggressive as what we wanted. Came back second half and put our starting offense and defense back in for one series just to get them. So, they deserve to get playing time too. And we scored. Actually, it was supposed to be our turn. We were supposed to receive the ball. We decided to go ahead and give Melcher the ball to begin with the second half. Our defense stopped them. We got the ball, scored. And then we allowed all of our seniors to come out on their home field, holding hands after the extra point, kind of let the crowd applaud them there for their last home game at home. And but then our JV did step up a lot better second half, played a lot better game.
Well, you guys obviously having a tremendous season, and football's a sport where the guys that handle the ball get most of the limelight, but you don't get to 8-0 without some pretty good kids up front. So let's talk about those guys a little bit. You obviously got an offensive line that's getting the job done.
Yeah, the 3 boys that we have up there, 2 of them are returning from last year. Alex Boyd is a senior. He started, of course, sophomore and junior year. So he's our play center. He's been playing center all these years. So that's good that he's kind of the leader, calls out if it's a 3 or 4-man front, those type of deals, and does a good job there. Quentin Castile, he stepped up last year, and he was able to be a starter. And Quentin's just a hard-working kid. And even as a sophomore last year, the kids voted him on as the captain. He's one of those in the weight room. He'll do whatever you ask him to do. And, he's our big-time pulling guard most of the time. We'll pull his way, and he does a great job of getting out there on our backs, love running behind Quentin on that. And then starting the season, we didn't know really who was going to step into that third position. And we had a kind of a battle between 2 or 3 kids, and a kid by the name of Cole Hyde, who's a junior this year, he stepped in there, and you can just tell by the look at his eyes at the beginning of the season that he wanted that spot, and he went out and earned it. And he's done a great job. And if you want to talk about a player that has shocked the coaches, that's Cole Hyde. He's really done a great job and stepped into that other guard position and done a really good job for us. So those are our 3 starting linemen, and I couldn't ask for a better line. I think could be the best line we've had since I've been in Moravia. For 3 kids, seems like there's been a lot of times we might have 2 pretty solid kids and a kid we had to cover up maybe a little bit. This year, we have confidence in all 3 of them, and they're doing a great job.
All right, and let's talk about your senior quarterback, too. There's a young man that I know is very well thought of in Moravia, hard-working athlete, Mr. Cochran, and I know he's kind of been there for you, struggled through a few seasons that weren't the best, and now there's the payday at the end.
Yeah, it's good to see Briar. He got thrown in as a freshman, have to play most of his freshman year whenever he didn't even weigh 100 pounds, and we didn't have much of a line for him, and, he stuck it out. Briar, one thing that really Briar has going for him, he's a very smart kid, and, he knows what every kid's supposed to be doing. Kid has a question in the huddle, he can tell them who they're supposed to block or what they're supposed to do, and sometimes, though, it can be almost as worse than me because he sometimes overthinks things sometimes as well, but for the most part this year, he's done a great job with, leading the team. The kids listen to him, they respond to him, and that's just a great thing. But, I talked to Coach Bickle and Coach Gray a week or 2 ago, and I said, this is just one of those teams that we don't have any. I wouldn't consider us having any outstanding players. Like, 5 years ago we had Tyler McDaniel, who everybody knew was going to get the ball. We were going to run the ball to Tyler. Most of us can go behind him. This year, we're pretty balanced with everything that we do, and it's been a great thing. And it's just hard for teams to, I think, prepare for us just because we can. You stop one kid, we got another kid who's going to step up, and no kid cares about who's getting the ball. It's just been a total team effort, and that's, what you strive for as a coach. And this year, I can really say that, no kids, a top athlete, they just all work together as a team, and it's been great to see.
Coach Denny Whitlow and the Moravian Mohawks, 8-0 now on the season. And let's take a look. You talked about the JV getting some playing time, and we mentioned your quarterback, Briar Cochran, this is his senior year. So who's in line? Who do you got coming to battle for that position next year?
We got two young men. One is Tucker Babbitt. Tucker is a sophomore this year, and he's had to play a lot of fullback for us this year on JV, just because we had some kids that were injured and things like that, so we didn't have a lot of depth for the JV game. So he's had to play a lot of that. Where last year as a freshman, he was our JV quarterback, and then we had a kid come in this year that was a freshman, Hunter Arbogast. So those two will probably be fighting it out next year as sophomores and juniors to fill that spot and be our starting quarterback. I don't know which one it'll be. It's probably going to be who wants to probably put the time in the summer. Both, as you guys know, both Hunter and Tucker, they both love baseball. So they're going to find some time during the baseball season, whoever wants to step up and try to take that starting quarterback position. So that's what it's going to come down to, is who wants to show a little bit of dedication to football as well. And, Tucker he's probably better at running the ball. And Hunter is a smart kid, and he can throw the ball pretty good. But Tucker has a pretty good arm. So it's going to be a pretty good battle to see which one of those two is going to step up and take that position next year.
Well, it sounds like either way, both those young men are going to be contributing factors to your program.
Yeah, we'll return Chase Snyder. He's one of he's not technically a starter, but him and Sam Klausrum plays in our tailback position. So we'll have Chase back next year as a running back. Then we'll have Nick Martin, who's our JV running back. Like the other night, Nick had 4 carries for 95 yards, and his average rush this year when he has gotten in the game is 20-something yards a rush. So, Nick can definitely step in there and be a starting running back for us, and you have him and Chase. And then, like I said, if you have Tucker in there, that just puts a third running player in there for us. If you have Hunter, it's going to be that passing, and Hunter's a very smart kid. He can step in there and do like Briar's done and know the offense and be able to do those type of things. So we're still going to have plenty of weapons next year. We'll have Jake Martin returning, who's our tight end right now, and then we'll just have to find one more receiver there, lineman, and hopefully some of the kids continue to be committed to the weight room, and some kids will step in, and we'll find those key pieces of the puzzle. Start not just have a good team once every 3 or 4 years. Hopefully we start making a tradition and every year looking to play in the playoffs.
We're going to talk about the playoffs a little bit here now we know you're going to be the 1 seed regardless of what happens on Friday night. And we've talked a little bit about who you think you might see. We don't have the sister district thing going on, but now as the other districts start to roll out and fall into place, is it still the same thoughts? Maybe a Murray or maybe a Squatty?
Yeah, I pulled out, made me a spreadsheet a couple of days ago and checked all the mileages for where all the teams were. And it has to be a team within a 125-mile radius of you is what it has to be, is what the state says for the first round games. So I tried to look, see which teams we had and what teams everybody else could play within the 125-mile radius. And it still comes down to Meskwaki or Murray. Murray's a little bit closer to us. And, Meskwaki, they've got 3 or 4 teams they can go play up in that area. So I think that's going to shift them that way. But you never know when the state's calling the shots, what the state's going to do. So I don't want to say that I'm 100% sure that we're going to play Murray. I'm just going to go in and just whoever they give us. And I got an email this week that said that they'll make the announcement between 2 and 2:30 in the morning, Saturday morning. I probably won't stay up for it. I'll probably go to sleep and wake up the next morning and try to figure out who we're going to play and get going from there.
But I'm guessing if you have to get up in the middle of the night for something to drink, you might check it.
Yeah, that or bathroom break, whichever it is. So I've got to get up. I'll probably check. Coach Pickle, he works third shift for Iowa Steel and Wire. So he'll be up. So he said, I'm sure I'll be checking. He said, I'll send you a text. I said, that sounds good. So we'll kind of go from there and see what we get. Doesn't matter who you get. You still got to go show up and play. And, hopefully our boys will respond. We've been to the playoffs 4 times at Moravia in the history. That's all we've ever made it. And nobody has won a game yet. So, that's kind of what we're telling the boys. Make history here, go on, be the first team to win at least one game, and, just keep rolling and see how far this thing can go. So that's what, the kids' goals are. We want to make it past the first round and continue to move on from there.
When is the first round of districts?
The first playoff game will be next Wednesday night. So Wednesday night, all games start at 7 o'clock. So we'll know Saturday. We'll start practice. We'll practice Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and go from there and be ready to play on Wednesday night, hopefully.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll visit more with Coach Whitlow and talk about the final game of the regular season. First things first, even though they know they're going to be the number 1 in the seed coming out of this district, they got a big rivalry game coming up Friday night with a Seymour team that would just love to ruin that undefeated season and take the Warhawk Trophy home to Seymour, where it hasn't been. So we'll talk to Coach Whitlow about that when we come back on Hy-Vee's The Bench.
Hello, this is Billy Thomas of the Thomas Funeral Home. Have you considered the benefit of advanced funeral planning? You plan for your first car, your first home, your children's college, and your retirement. Planning makes sense. Guaranteed pricing, peace of mind, and the alleviation of stress on your family are just a few of the benefits of advanced funeral planning. Please feel free to pick up the phone or stop by the funeral home with any questions regarding advanced funeral planning.
Call the Thomas Funeral Home in Centerville at 856-4321 or in Bloomfield at 664-2353. Chico Construction provides a complete line of excavating equipment for all your water, sewer, and building needs. Whether it be residential, commercial, or agricultural, Chico Construction can help. Serving Centerville and Southern Iowa for more than 40 years. Call Dave McCann at Chico Construction, 895-1980. That's Dave McCann at 895-1980. Chico Construction. For all your excavating needs, remember,
McCann can.
Sales and Associates Cook Insurance in Centerville and Corridon is proud to be a part of the Pitchfork Show. Give Sales and Associates a call today at 888-767-0239. That's 888-767-0239. Call them locally in Centerville at 856-3375. That's 856-3375. For all your insurance needs, call Sales and Associates Cook Insurance in Centerville and Corridon. Seasons are changing and winter will be here before we know it. So what are you waiting for? It's time to play some golf. Lots of golf before winter. Call the Preserve on Rathbun Lake at 724-1400. That's 724-1400. The Preserve on Rathbun Lake is Southern Iowa's premier 18-hole championship golf course. It is a beautiful facility, and they have a full-stocked pro shop as well. So you can not only play your best, but you can look your best, and you can have the finest equipment available. The Preserve on Rathbun Lake. Call 724-1400.
We're a little bit into the 7 o'clock hour, the second hour of the show. It is the Pitchfork Show. Russ Ocker, Chandler Koestner, Josh Bryce on the Pitchfork Show live from the Hy-Vee store, and we're talking Mohawk football with Coach Denny Whitlow. His 8-0 Mohawks will travel to Seymour this Friday night for the final game of the regular season, and it's a game that, as an outsider, if you're just looking at on paper, it looks like a game that you're strongly favored in. But there's that Moravia-Seymour rivalry that I know as a coach always has you a little bit on edge, that this is their season right here.
Yeah, me being a Hawkeye fan, I always remember the Iowa State games and how, Iowa might be favored by a lot. Iowa State's always going to bring their A game for that game. And, we're talking to boys a lot about that. With Seymour, they're going to come. They know that they can't make it into the playoffs. So this is their playoff game. They would love to knock us off from that, having that undefeated season and give us a loss going into our, state games. So the boys have to stay focused and, be ready to go. Because, Seymour's going to be won this game. And I know since last year, after we beat them, both sides have been talking. Seymour has been talking since last year about how this was going to be the year they were going to beat us and things like that. So I guess we'll find out Friday night who the better team is.
Well, you've got a lot to think about, obviously, on Friday night with a big postseason game coming up the following Wednesday. Have you and the coaching staff talked about the idea that if things do go your way, at what point do you start thinking about taking some of the injury risk out of play?
Yeah, we've talked about that. And, we'd like, it's like any game, but we'd like to get up early like we did last week, and then maybe be able to put our JV guys in. And, we don't want to keep it close where we have to keep kids in there real long. So we're going to try to get up early if we can. But I know the Seymour kids, there are a lot of hardworking kids over there. And, they're going to be ready to come, and we're not going to be able to just sit there and just go over there and show up. They're going to be ready to play. But if we can get a lead early, we're definitely going to try to get our young guys in there and try to protect as many of our players as we can, and just be smart about it and try to make sure we come home with a win, but, be ready to go for that next Wednesday.
Offensively, what do you expect to see from the Warriors?
They'll do a little bit, bring everything in tight some, and they'll like to run lead plays, a few sweeps out of that, but then they'll also spread things out, twins to both sides and short little passes, and then they'll run a guy short, another guy deep, and try to mix up your defensive coverage. Then they run a kind of little swinging gate type deal and try to get mismatches on that. So, our boys are going to have to definitely communicate and not get caught in those, not covering up the right receiver, things like that, go from there. But our kids, play defense like they have all year. Give a shout out to Coach Bickle and our defense this year. I've been really impressed with what our defense has been doing there. A couple weeks ago, even though it was a close game against Twin Cedars, they had a kid that was averaging 137 yards a game. Last name was Penninger, and we held him to 27 yards, that game. So our defense has been doing a really good job this year. Breyer and Avery's done a really good job of shutting teams down. The receiving core, Twin Cedars also had a kid that had been averaging over 100 yards receiving a game. And Avery, we had him on him most of the time. The kid had like 20 yards receiving. So, they've done their job like they're supposed to, shutting those things down. And, we can just do our jobs and, do what we've been doing all year, we should be all right. But, again, rivalry games, crazy things happened a few years ago. One of those years of the year that we went 8-1, we went over there and it was a shootout. We won like 80-something to 70-something, or both were in the 70s. And they only won one game all year, but it was just a shootout. They were slinging the ball everywhere. They had a whole different offense than what they'd ran before. And they're going to be ready to play this Friday, and hopefully we are. And we're not overlooking them and looking for the playoffs. But I know I'm definitely not overlooking them. And, again, with just some of the smack talk, just like it is with any rivalry game, I think our kids are going to be ready to go, and they want to make a statement in this game as well.
And actually, it is, I think it's Seymour and Moulton Udell. I don't know how many Moulton Udell kids they have, but Moulton Udell goes to Seymour now for football, right?
Yes, that's right. I'm not sure how many kids they have out on their varsity team as well for Moulton.
You talk about this being a rivalry game. Kids will be kids. With social media now, it's even easier to get the tempers up or have the say. Have you addressed with your kids the idea of not doing anything stupid on the field that could lead to problems? This obviously, if a kid gets thrown out of a game, then he misses the next game. You've got a big game coming up. Their season ends Friday night either way. Have you or will you address that with your young men?
Yeah, we talked tonight about that some, and we actually put a little bug in our JVs here tonight just to kind of start chattering a little bit, just to try to kind of simulate that type of stuff to see if our boys would, respond, or they just walk back. And I'd say our boys didn't do a real good job tonight, but they were getting a little bit chippy with the JV. And I felt sorry for some of the JV kids because they got playing on their back a few times for doing it. But it did help us, and it gave us that example of, see, this is what we can't do. We can't have breakdowns like this come Friday night because that easily could happen, especially where you have a rivalry game. They don't have anything to lose. We just got to be smart, just walk back to the huddle, and hopefully let the scoreboard do the talking for us.
All right, and you talked about there's a quick turnaround into the postseason. Do you get game film in the postseason too, or how does that work?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the way it's supposed to be, you get weeks 6, 7, and 8 is what it's been in the past. It's been a few years since we've been in the playoffs, but last time we were in it, you receive weeks 6, 7, and 8 from the other team, so you get 3 game films from them. And so you get those 3 game films, you send it to them, and they send them to you, or you go meet somewhere. If you don't do Huddle or one of the different things there, you send them by way of Huddle, or we do ours on a YouTube type of deal. But if you have DVDs that you still do the old way, you have to go meet the coach somewhere and trade them and kind of go from there.
All right, Coach Denny Whitlow and his Mohawks, 8-0 on the year, going for an undefeated regular season this Friday night against Shmore. And then next Wednesday night, they will be in postseason play, and that's the 1 seed. I assume that game is in Moravia then.
Yes, it will be in Moravia. So we're starting. Jamie Koestner, our athletic director, his first year of being the AD over in Moravia. So he's getting a quick initiation to this state thing, trying to get everything prepared for next Wednesday night.
All right, Coach, as always, thanks for stopping out. Good luck on Friday night and in the postseason. So you will not be here next Wednesday night. Obviously, you'll be busy coaching football. We'll keep an eye on that. We'll look forward to hearing from you real soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
This is The Pitch on KCOG. We're back with Coach Tom Hill right after this.
Henley Dental in Centerville offers a full range of dental services, from regular exams to dental cosmetics. Henley Dental can help with all of your dental needs. Call today at 856-4103. That's 856-4103. They offer Clear Correct and porcelain veneers to help make that smile look better. And Dr. Nick Henley would like to remind you of the importance of scheduling a regular exam. You should have your teeth examined and cleaned every 6 months. To schedule your exam today, call 856-4103. That's 856-4103. Dr. Nick Henley at Henley Dental, 203 West Washington in Centerville.
There's no place like home, and there's no place like Northside Insurance to insure your home. We're your hometown insurance agency, which means we know you by name and will take time to understand your insurance needs. We can also help with your other insurance, such as auto, boat, farm, and business. Together with Allied Insurance, we'll design the insurance package that fits your needs. Call us today at 856-3333.
Quote to claim, we take care of you. Northside Insurance.
They don't build cars like they used to, and they don't repair them like they used to either. Today's vehicles contain advanced, lightweight materials and safety features like crumple zones and airbags that help protect your family. Repairing them properly after a collision requires up-to-date training. RK Auto Body has it. We're among only 10% of shops to meet the industry's highest training standards as a gold class business. When you pick a collision repair shop, make the smart choice for your family's safety. Choose gold class trained repair professionals. Choose RK Auto Body. RK Auto Body is located at 21317 Highway J46 Centerville, or call them at 641-856-2500. Founded in 1864, the Daily Iowegian is one of the oldest businesses in Centerville. Keep up on local news, sports, and all community events by reading the Daily Iowegian. You'll also find them online at dailyiwegian.com. That's dailyiwegian.com, where you'll find the latest in local news and much more. Subscribe today by calling 856-6336. That's 856-6336. The Daily Iowegian, the newspaper that cares about Appomattox County.
You're listening to KCOG Centerville, the Pitch Sports Show presented by Hy-Vee. Josh Price joins us now to tell us about all the great things going on out here at Hy-Vee. And I see this, I'm trying to read it upside down. A Spookapalooza or some spectacular 2 days sale. Yeah, spectacular. Spookapalooza. Well, I got upside down, Chad. What's wrong with it? What do you want from me? Well, there's no P in there. There's no P upside down. Oh, and I don't see well, you know that. Anyway, it's a spectacular. There you go. Spectacular.
Yeah, we've got a great sale on Saturday and Sunday this week. Hy-Vee gallon milk, $1.99 each. Limit 2, and that excludes whole milk. We also have Palermo's Classic Pizza, select varieties, 4 for $10, and if you buy 4, you can get 40 cents a gallon on your fuel saver card.
I haven't had a Palermo in a long time. I forget, those are good pizza.
Yeah, they're not too shabby. We have Armor meatballs, 14 16-ounce package. These are frozen, 2 for $6, and with a purchase of 2, save 20 cents a gallon. Bakery Fresh cookies from Steve Brown, the bakery back there, $3.99 a dozen with a 5-cent fuel saver. We also have fresh from the service case in the meat department. Hy-Vee shaved ham, just $1.99 a pound. And Hy-Vee 8-pound bag of ice, just $1.99, and save 10 cents a gallon on your fuel saver card.
All of that right out here at your local Hy-Vee. This is The Pitch. We're back with Coach Tom Hill right after this.
This is Henry Ortman at the Annuity Shop in Centerville. Since the summer of 1987, I have been helping people with their IRA investments. I have many clients that contribute money into an IRA on a monthly basis, but I also have many retired clients that are receiving money on a monthly basis to help pay bills. That's called cash flow. Having an adequate amount of cash flow is very important. I give people monthly cash flow from their employees' retirement plans. We put the money into an IRA and then set up a systematic withdrawal plan that can be sent directly into your bank account. It's safe and convenient. I have many safe options for your retirement plan distribution from your employer. I'm Henry Ortman at the Annuity Shop in Centerville. I've been in business since 1987.
Hey, sports fans, did you know that Jim Ireland Menswear on the Square in Centerville has a nice selection of Big Reds, Hawkeyes, Cyclones, and even UNI apparel? That's right. If you're looking to show your team spirit, check out Jim Ireland Menswear on the south side of the Centerville Square. You'll find golf shirts, jackets, caps, and sweatshirts, all with your favorite team logos, and all at Jim Ireland Menswear. Jim Ireland Menswear on the south side of the Centerville Square, open Monday through Thursday 9 to 5:30, Fridays 9 to 7, and Saturdays 9 to 5.
The Flower Teak in Centerville is your one-stop shop for all your floral needs. We carry a large selection of fresh-cut flowers, green plants, memorial stones, candles, wreaths, barn quilts, and other great gift ideas. We provide fast, same-day delivery and treat you as our #1 customer. Whether you are planning a large event such as a wedding or simply know someone needing cheering up, we can help. Let our friendly staff help you choose the right flowers or gift to fit your needs. Flower Teak on the northeast corner of the Centerville Square. Call 437-4131, visit flowerteak.com, or find us on Facebook.
Nothing brings out the warmth and style of your home like new flooring. J&L Flooring in Centerville is family-owned and operated, and they're located on the east side of the Centerville Square. Give them a call today at 856-6331. That's 856-6331. J&L Floor Covering carries a complete line of floor coverings at the most competitive prices, and they hire only the most qualified professional installers. Call J&L Flooring today at 641-856-6331. That's 856-6331.
You're listening to The Pitch on KCOG Centerville, and this your local sports show. Spectacular. Yeah, spectacular. Spookapalooza. Spookapalooza. All right, we're joined now by Sean Hill to talk volleyball. The regular season came to a close. What happened? Yep. Yes. I'm sorry. Came to a close on Saturday up in the Fairfield. Yes. And not a bad finish. I know you would like to have taken down the Fairfield, but we really had a pretty good day.
Yeah, we went 2-1 on Saturday, and we beat. Started off today, we had to play Fairfield first. It's always tough to play that first game on Saturday, and started at 9, and I don't think we were mentally ready to play. And it was tough getting in the groove in that first match, and Fairfield's just a really good team, and we ended up losing. I think it was like 25-16, 25-18 or something like that. And then we turned right around and had to play Davis County, who we know is probably, we're looking at them probably in the second round if we can get by Albia in regionals. And I was really proud of our kids. There's kind of get focused for that second match against Davis County. And really, I thought we played one of the best matches that we played in a while against them. And I think we won 25-9 and 25-11 or 25-13, something like that in 2 games. We really played well. And then turned around and played PCM and really we went 3 games against PCM. PCM took us 3 games, and we actually lost the first game against PCM and then got refocused again and won the second and third. And I guess it was nice for our kids to have to play a meaningful, like a elimination game, if you want to call it that. That was our first one of the season. Really, that we had to go 3 games. We had an early one against Washington at the Grinnell tournament early in the season. But this was a nice, I guess, a game that we had to perform in, and we really did a nice job. So we ended up at 2-1 on the day, and then brought our record to 26-6 overall. So it's been a good regular season. Now times have changed. So
Now the records don't matter.
Exactly.
Had we seen PCM before this year?
No.
No, this was the first time I've seen somebody different.
Yeah. And their record really, I think their record was something like 8-23. And they, but that 8-23, they played a lot of teams in the Des Moines area. They played Southeast Polk. They played some Valley team. I think they played Down. They played a lot of the big schools and kind of go north on their tournaments. So I mean, they're a team that's played a lot of quality competition, and it was just good to see somebody else, like you said, and have to fight to get a win. So that was good for our kids. They really proud of them.
So you finished the regular season at 26-6, which is a record-setting season.
It is.
Yeah. Most wins since they've gone to rally scoring.
That's rally scoring. Yeah.
Yeah. And so now we talk about records don't matter. Talk to me about the girls, and are you able to flip that switch now with them that it's a new world now, and Albia's not going to care that you're 20.
Exactly. This week's been really tough. We've had a lot of sickness, so hopefully we're getting all that taken care of this week before next week when we actually start regionals. Today was the first day that we've been able to practice with everybody there, not having anybody gone. And I don't know. I think today was good. We are, we're preparing to be the great. We want to be the best that we can be potentially. I think that we've had some kids that haven't always, here at the end of the season, a little bit of complacency, just kind of taking things for granted. And I think that we tried to, we're seriously looking at some different things, going into postseason, and. I think our kids have to have that understanding that, we want, we're here to win this as a one game at a time, but it's like, we can't make mistakes. We can't live with lost points here and there. And it's something we just need to get better at. And, I don't know if we've flipped that switch yet. I think tonight was a good start. I liked how our kids were coachable tonight. I liked how, we're taking some ownership tonight. They were, they allowed us to coach them tonight. I don't think that was true on Monday and Tuesday. I think there was a little bit of, okay, whatever type attitudes and a little bit of complacency. And tonight, I was really proud of our girls. They allowed us to coach them. And Christy and I had a lot of discussions about some different things, and we're trying to work on some different things and look at some different options and that type of thing. And it's going to be interesting. I think there's going to be some newness going into postseason, and I say that even though we're 26-6 on the regular season, but I think that we have to, we have to keep our kids fresh and hungry, and I think that's kind of what the past couple weeks for us. Our kids weren't always that way, not all of them, and I think that we're making some changes that could possibly make us better as a group, and that's kind of where we're at. So.
Last week you were unable to be on doing the all-conference voting. Yep. I know that has not been released yet.
Exactly. Yep.
Overall, did you get out of there without your blood pressure getting too high?
I felt that, when you finished, we talked to the girls a little bit at the beginning of the season, that when if your team does well in the conference rankings, and we finished second on the season in the conference, then that leads to your postseason honors. And I would say that I feel very good about our kids getting recognized the way they did. And I think it'll be, when they do come out, I think that it'll show, the end of those individuals, those kids that really, really, really made our team better and helped us have this kind of a season. I think they're going to get recognized, and I'm really happy for them. I think it was a good night for us. And again, when you finish as well as we did and have the kind of season we did, we deserve that. And I felt from a conference standpoint, I think a lot of kids got recognized that should. So,
all right, at least pumping a fist over here.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I thought maybe you were pumped up about Thomas.
I'm very focused on what Tom said. No, I am very excited for the season Tom's having. It's a great season, and like Thomas said in the past, it's kind of brought the whole school's spirits up and everything else and the communities. So it is great. But this fist pump was for due to hitting the 3-run home run.
All right, Coach. As you head into the postseason, for your seniors, this is it. And typically, seniors are there to step it up. They know this is their last ride. Talk to me about your seniors and what you expect out of them as you get set to hopefully make a nice postseason.
I think that, we have a lot of our success. I mean, I don't think there's been really any doubt in my mind that our success is based on the way our seniors handled themselves throughout the whole season, whether they're getting playing time or not, whatever role they've been asked to do, to take on. And I think that our underclassmen have really accepted, that leadership role and understood that, hey, our seniors want to win and we're buying into this and we want to do good things for them too. I think our seniors have to take the next step. If we're seriously going to make a run, every one of our seniors, whether they play or not, if they get one serve, if they're on the court for one serve or all the serves, they have to have a positive attitude and they have to want to see the kids that are on the court succeed. And that's in practice. I mean, we have some kids that are just basically practice players, and they have to make our kids better. And then there's a couple seniors right now that are in that role. And tonight was a positive night for them. I think that was, we have to have that kind of effort in practice to make that happen. And the kids that have been leading have to continue to lead. And I think that I believe in them. I really think this is a pretty special team. I think there's been times throughout our season we struggled with some off-court issues, just typical things that come up throughout a season. But I think this group has enough guts, enough courage to sit there and go, okay, hey, this is what's really important right now. We're going to go try to get a win. And a lot of it's on the seniors. It's on all of them.
Well, you're going to have Albie in the first round. You get it at home. You try to win that one. You get the second one at home.
Right.
Chad, talk about what this has done community-wise. It's been tremendous to see the support that these girls get.
Oh, it's been great.
The bottom line is, when you win, that's what happens.
Exactly.
We could sit here and say it'd sure be nice if you got the same support no matter what. That's sports.
Exactly.
That's the way it is. But they have really put a fire in this community, and I would expect that Monday night it might be pretty rowdy.
I really hope it is. I think it's going to be a great opportunity to come out and see us and support our kids during a, definitely kind of like a rivalry game. You get to play Hy-Vee again, and on our home court. We played at their place this year for our conference match, and then have them come into our place. And I would love to see that Lakeview gym just rocking. I mean, it'd be great. It's a 7:00 start. You get a nice bite to eat wherever you're going to do that at, and come to the game, and like you said, be rowdy as heck. So it'd be a great time for people to come out. Especially like our junior high girls, our junior high team. I believe they finished their season up last week or a couple weeks ago, and just really love to see them come out and see our varsity kids play, and especially those 8th graders to step in next year as freshmen and kind of see what this thing's all about. And but it can be a great night. It can be a really, really neat couple nights during the week next week. So.
All right, Coach Tom Hill and his Redettes at home Monday night. Let's do a big crowd. 7:00 start?
7:00 start.
All right. Well, before you get out of here, let's take the Power Insurance Hall of Fame Challenge and see how we do tonight. We're going to go back to 1985 tonight. Our topic is Major League Baseball, and we're going back to 1985. What's significant about 1985? A couple of things. Number one, that's the last time that the Royals won the World Series. Number two, it's the first time that the league championships were 7 games. Always before, they were 5 games. So 85 was the first time the league championships were 7 games. So what I want to know is, who played in each league championship back in 1985? Now, obviously, I gave away one of the answers in the American League. So there you go. Who played in the 2 league championships back in 1985, the first that were 7 games? We'll take a break. Come back and see how they did on the Power Insurance Hall of Fame Challenge, brought to you by Power Insurance of Moravia. Call 724-9000.
Hello, this is Billy Thomas of the Thomas Funeral Home. Have you considered the benefit of advanced funeral planning? You plan for your first car, your first home, your children's college, and your retirement. Planning makes sense. Guaranteed pricing, peace of mind, and the alleviation of stress on your family are just a few of the benefits of advanced funeral planning. Please feel free to pick up the phone or stop by the funeral home with any questions regarding advanced funeral planning.
Call the Thomas Funeral Home in Centerville at 856-4321. or in Bloomfield at 664-2353. Chico Construction provides a complete line of excavating equipment for all your water, sewer, and building needs. Whether it be residential, commercial, or agricultural, Chico Construction can help. Serving Centerville and Southern Iowa for more than 40 years. Call Dave McCann at Chico Construction, 895-1980. That's Dave McCann at 895-1980. Chico Construction. For all your excavating needs, remember,
McCann can.
Sales and Associates Cook Insurance in Centerville and Corridon is proud to be a part of the Pitchfork Show. Give Sales and Associates a call today at 888-767-0239. That's 888-767-0239. Call them locally in Centerville at 856-3375. That's 856-3375. For all your insurance needs, call Sales and Associates Cook Insurance in Centerville and Corridon. Seasons are changing and winter will be here before we know it. So what are you waiting for? It's time to play some golf. Lots of golf before winter. Call the Preserve on Rathbun Lake at 724-1400. That's 724-1400. The Preserve on Rathbun Lake is Southern Iowa's premier 18-hole championship golf course. It is a beautiful facility, and they have a full stock pro shop as well. So you can not only play your best, but you can look your best, and you can have the finest equipment available. The Preserve on Rathbun Lake. Call 724-1400.
All right, you're listening to the Pitchfork Show on KCOG Centerville. You never know who might show up. One of our old favorites, Rob Bush, is in the house tonight. Good to see Rob, and hope that he and his family are doing well. And we know that a little bit of an incident there, but everybody's fine, right? So, okay, good. So it's probably already out there on Facebook, so we can let everybody know that there was a little accident, but everybody's fine. So there you go. All right, let's do this. Let's see how they did on the Power Insurance Hall of Fame Challenge. We went back to 1985. That's the first year that the League Championship Series went to 7 games. Who were in those? Well, in the American League, it was the Kansas City Royals and the Toronto Blue Jays. A rematch, or, same as this year. In the National League, it was the St. Louis Cardinals and the Los Angeles Dodgers. All right, so how'd we do? Chad's got 3. Coach has 3. Coach Hill 2. Josh 2. So it comes down to an overtime matchup between Coach Evans and Chad Koestner. That's right. We'll see. All right, here you go with it. I'm going to lay down. This is probably, Chad. I got to tell you, Chad, I think you're behind the 8 ball on this. Well, I guarantee I am. Who was the manager of the 85 Royals? Who was the manager of the 85 Royals? Oh, Coach hasn't answered. Chad, tick.
I'm not going to come up with his name. He's the gentleman that had got cancer and passed away, I believe, isn't he? Maybe. Is that the same one?
I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know his name. I have no idea. I can't think of his name.
What's that?
Name's pretty important. I'll give it to you.
All right, we're looking for Dick Hauser. And it looks like Coach Evans does even spelled it correctly, too. So there you go. There you go. Overtime. I think Ted tanked that's what he did. You want to keep your
Let's draft 4-0.
There you go. That's all. Let's talk about that. We'll grab a break. We'll come back and visit with Coach Chuck Evans right after this on Hy-Vee the Pitch.
See you tomorrow. Yeah. All right.
This is Henry Ortman at the Annuity Shop in Centerville. Since the summer of 1987, I have been helping people with their IRA investments. I have many clients that contribute money into an IRA on a monthly basis, but I also have many retired clients that are receiving money on a monthly basis to help pay bills. That's called cash flow. Having an adequate amount of cash flow is very important. I give people monthly cash flow from their employees' retirement plans. We put the money into an IRA and then set up a systematic withdrawal plan that can be sent directly into your bank account. It's safe and convenient. I have many safe options for your retirement plan distribution from your employer. I'm Henry Ortman at the Annuity Shop in Centerville. I've been in business since 1987.
Hey, sports fans, did you know that Jim Ireland Menswear on the Square in Centerville has a nice selection of Big Reds, Hawkeyes, Cyclones, and even UNI apparel? That's right. If you're looking to show your team spirit, check out Jim Ireland Menswear on the south side of the Centerville Square. You'll find golf shirts, jackets, caps, and sweatshirts, all with your favorite team logos and all at Jim Ireland Menswear. Jim Ireland Menswear on the south side of the Centerville Square, open Monday through Thursday 9 to 5:30, Fridays 9 to 7, and Saturdays 9 to 5.
The Flower Teak in Centerville is your one-stop shop for all your floral needs. We carry a large selection of fresh cut flowers, green plants, memorial stones, candles, wreaths, barn quilts, and other great gift ideas. We provide fast, same-day delivery and treat you as our #1 customer. Whether you are planning a large event such as a wedding or simply know someone needing cheering up, we can help. Let our friendly staff help you choose the right flowers or gift to fit your needs. Flower Teak on the northeast corner of the Centerville Square. Call 437-4131, visit flowerteak.com, or find us on Facebook.
Nothing brings out the warmth and style of your home like new flooring. J&L Flooring in Centerville is family-owned and operated, and they're located on the east side of the Centerville Square. Give them a call today at 856-6331. That's 856-6331. J&L Floor Covering carries a complete line of floor coverings at the most competitive prices, and they hire only the most qualified professional installers. Call J&L Flooring today at 641-856-6331. That's 856-6331.
You're listening to The Pitch on KCOG Centerville, and it's time to talk Big Red football with Coach Chuck Evans. And boy, Coach, all of a sudden, we're thinking playoffs. So now you have a playoff contender on your hands.
Yes, we do, and it's the boys came to play Friday night against Davis County. Chad was with me from the locker room on. Kovac usually goes over with us on the bus, but he wanted to go over and watch our freshman sophomore team play. And so Chad and I had the guys, and by far, in the time Chad's been with us in the 5 years I've been here, it was the best bus ride over. Kids were quiet, they were focused, they were excited to play, and we took that opening drive, went right down and scored. We were on 3 fourth down situations, but we got it. Briar County made some huge catches, and we got the touchdown, and it just kind of took the momentum and ran with it. In the third quarter, we took some great opportunities that our defense gave us with some turnovers and stuck 2 in the end zone, and then afterwards we circled the wagons, as we call it, and got the pennants back in the hallway as of Monday. So, yeah, it was a great win, and as we were coming back from Davis County, we were really interested in the score up at North Polk because they were playing CMB. And the first score came in, it was 10-7. And then I said to Chad, does Russ have some relatives or something up there? He goes, well, we'll give him a call and find out. And so we gave you a call. And by the time you got kind of the information we were looking for and got back to us, we had a final. And then you kind of gave us some more additional information, was great. And I got up in the bus and I just told the guys, I said, hey, it's there. I said, Friday night at Paul Johnson's Field, we're going to play for the 4th spot in the district to go to the playoffs. And there's kind of a hoop and a holler. But the main thing you always want to read from your kids is it important to them? Is it something that they want to accomplish? And Monday, I was at school subbing, and usually when I get to Lakeview and get changed, it's about 3:45, and I walk through the locker room, and some of the kids are getting taped, and some of the kids are just talking and stuff, and then walk on out down to the practice field. I went through the locker room at 3:45, and there wasn't a kid in there because they were already on the practice field ready to go. So these kids want it. It's senior night. We got 12 seniors that we're going to honor out there. And, what a big game for our seniors and the football team and the program to go up against CMB. And if you win, you play Wednesday night.
Well, we've kind of been joking off the air. Is there at any point in the coaching staff, whether it be Kovac, who could be a character, or you guys, has anybody said playoffs?
No, we don't have the helium balloons in the locker room yet to imitate my voice. But when I came in the store tonight, Tyler Fagan, one of the former Big Reds, he goes playoffs, and I turn around and go playoffs. And so I knew what was going on here. So anyway, it's fun. I mean, it is fun. You gotta embrace it, enjoy it. We had good practice tonight. We've had good practices this week. The weather sounds like it's going to cooperate from the standpoint it's going to be warm. Next week sounds like it's going to dip down in the freezing temperatures, but maybe a chance of rain, but who cares? Let's go play football on Friday night.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about the Davis County game. You mentioned Briar Cowan, who had a huge game. One of your seniors, Tate Felton, made a huge catch, another senior. Did you get the sense, I know for me watching the game, it looked like that you got some great senior leadership, and it was almost like they were saying those pennants are going to Centerville.
Yeah, I think they took ownership of it. They wanted to, leave a mark with the program, and they knew that they were running out of chances, quite honestly. And this was a big one for them as far as getting the pennants back in school. And it was just, I'll tell you what, on the sidelines with the kids on the sidelines and the play that was going on the field and coaches and the guys up in the box and everything, it was just everybody's pulling so hard to get a win. And it was just so gratifying to see that our kids were successful and the smiles on their faces afterwards. And we were talking, at halftime, kids were smiling and laughing and nothing disrespectful to Davis County. They're just feeling good about being in the game, being ahead, having an opportunity to go out in the second half and finish the job, which they did. And, then after the game to have the pennants handed to us, the cheerleaders and the fans and everybody that joined us out on the field, it was just it was a great night. It was a super night for our seniors and the football team in general. So, we're looking forward to doing the same thing Friday night.
Well, your defense obviously was on top of its game on Friday night, holding Davis County to just the 6 points. Offense looked probably as good as it has. All in all, it looked like you came out ready to go and never really looked back. There was a spot when they kind of made a little bit of noise, and you're standing there as a spectator and you're going, oh, it's going to get interesting just yet. But our guys really came out and controlled the field position early in the second half. Your defense got a couple of key turnovers after your offense was unable to move the ball down in their territory. Talk to me a little bit about your defense and how important that role was in the game.
Well, the thing was just that, get penetration and you get into the lane assignments as far as the gap and coverage. And the kids were doing a great job, and they weren't over-penetrating. Sometimes they over-penetrate and run by the play, and it goes right underneath them. But the kids just wanted it so bad. And Tiger Terpstra ended up with 2 interceptions. We had numerous fumbles, and it was fumbles caused by wrapping up, and the next guy got in there, and he started stripping on the ball, which Coach Kovac always, talks about. And so it was just everybody doing their assignment, nobody trying to be, superhero out there. Everybody's just doing their assignment, taking care of their responsibilities, and it worked out really well. And, when you cut that field in half and you don't have to go 80 yards or 85 yards on a drive, and you only have to go 40 yards or 35 yards, whatever the case was, in a couple of drives we had, it was good. And the coaches on the sideline, we were working really hard trying to get a win, obviously. And Kovac came up to me and said, "Hey, you should isolate Tate on the right side with I think it was number 4 or somebody like that." And so we drew it up in the dirt. And I said, "Here's your play." And Tate went down, made a super catch in the end zone, and with 3 guys hanging on him. And we were bouncing ideas off on each other on offense and defense, and Chad and everybody, and Harnish and Mad Dog up in the box. So it was just a great win. Even Todd Mihalovich, he got involved in it because he went and dumped the water buckets before the end of the game that saved the coach from getting showered. So everybody was involved in it, and it was just, it was just fun. It was just absolutely fun. It was one of the best times being a Centerville Big Red football coach.
Well, take us inside the headset of the head coach. You have to make some big decisions throughout the game. You made a decision to go for it on about a 4th and 3 from around midfield. Talk to me about making those decisions. Are those what goes into making the decision to go for it? Because obviously everybody's an armchair quarterback, and it's hindsight's always 20/20. When you make that decision, is that something you're thinking about a play or two in advance, or do you have to make that? Well, here we are, 4th and 3. What do I want to do?
Well, it was a situation when that decision was made as our kids got on the bus over at Lakefield. And as the kids got on the bus, Chad and I were standing there, and I shook each one of those kids' hands, and I just said, let's have a great game tonight. Let's bring the pennants home, or something to that nature. And when you watch the kids get on the bus, they wanted to win. I mean, the facial expressions, the determination and everything. And basically I said, we're going after it. I said, I believe in these kids. I know that they can get the job done. And whatever the down the distance was on that first drive, we would go after it. And by gosh, they came through for us. And, they started believing in themselves, which is, a big thing here. The Centervilles had confidence that you could get the job done. And so it was basically, like I said, the mindset was done back at Lakeview at the parking lot when those kids got on the bus, because they wanted to win and they wanted to bring those pennants home.
Well, now you are going to be looking at a potential chance to get to the playoffs. You've got CMB coming to town, and that's a game that what we're hearing, what we're seeing, this is definitely a game that the kids have a real shot to go win. And I think even at full strength, CMB is a team that if we show up ready to go, we should be in the ball game with them. They've got a few dents, so we hear. You don't know that until they show up. You have to prepare, I presume, as if everybody in their lineup is going to be on the field.
Yeah, we talked about that this week in practice on Monday especially. We just said, hey, we're hearing all these talks about this kid and that kid and everything. Forget it. Even if those kids don't show up, that team's going to come down here and want to go back to the playoffs. Last year for the people, they were 9-0 district champs, beat Albia in a heck of a game at Albia. And so those younger kids that were on that team, they know what it's like to go to the playoffs, and they want that to be a part of it. They don't want to be the team knowing that, hey, that team, went deep in the playoffs last year and we couldn't even get back to it. So they're going to come back. They're going to come down here. Whoever can play is going to be focused, they're going to be fired up. They're going to be ready to go, and we have to be the same. And we got to do just like we did Davis County, keep our turnovers to a minimum, keep our penalties to a minimum, and when we have the ball, do something with it. And defense has got to do their job just as long, and also the special teams. So it's 3 phases. We got to make sure we do all 3 phases as best as we can, which will give us a great opportunity to win the game.
With no fresh soft game in front of you, you have anybody you want available. Is there will we see any other personnel? I mean, I would assume that might affect your special teams more than anything, with kids that would be available if you want them to be available.
Yeah, we're working on that right now as we speak. There'll be some kids that I was talking to Coach Vanny tonight on our special teams that will probably get on the field for special team work, and we're just going to have to see how that comes together. Tomorrow night when we'll put the final touches on our special teams. At that time, decisions will be made. And decisions are going to be made also as far as our offensive line in the various packages that run, too, because we've had some kids step up this week that showed us a few things. And so we're kind of tinkering a little bit with our offensive line personnel, and those decisions will be made tomorrow night.
You talked about looking at the kids and seeing, is this something they want to do? Do you get the sense that they understand the opportunity that's in front of them? How many kids play high school football that never get to play in a postseason football game? And regardless of what our record is or isn't, we're 1 win away from playing in the postseason. You think about the number of kids who have gone through Centerville High School that never got, very few kids that ever played football at Centerville High School ever have gotten to play in a postseason football game. And do you think our kids, are you seeing that they sense the special opportunity that sits in front of them?
Well, we've had some kids that, was on that team that went to Oski a couple years ago with Michael and Colton and Louie and those guys. And I think that, they got a little taste of it. Some of them played some starting roles. Some of them were more backup special teams type people. And they talked about that. They talked about going up to Oski in the rain and playing on the turf and all that. And, they're always saying, you can't beat it. Even though that night was raining, there wasn't a big crowd, you just can't beat the electricity, the intensity of a playoff game. It just takes another level to go on up. And this game Friday night is a playoff game. I mean, to win it, yes, you get to go on and play a 10th game. But for both teams going into it, it's a playoff game, because if you win, you go on. You lose, you're going home, you're putting the uniforms away, and you can get ready for next year. So it's gonna be a great atmosphere. Kids are gonna give 100%. The weather, who knows what? They got rain in the forecast. It might not have rain. We might have rain. Who cares? The kids are gonna go out and give it their best shot.
I've had an opportunity to have, we have the In the Box Summit where we have the student guests. The last few male guests have been seniors. We had Dan Harris, we had Koestner tonight. I definitely don't get the sense from either one of those young men that they in any way, shape, or form ever gave up on the season. And I still, from both of them, I think there was a sense of pride of, we're going to win every game we've got left. This is going to be a great season for us. Now they're at the brink of just that. You get into playoffs, that's a pretty special thing. Have you gotten that sense from your seniors all along that nobody ever, at any point, ever gave up on the season?
No, I really don't think they have, and I think we started seeing it coming together a little bit more. They started kind of knowing that this thing was going to end, and they hit seniors at different times of the season. Sometimes it hits them right at the first of the season, sometimes about the middle, and then sometimes toward the end. And I think you can tell about the second half of North Dakota. Fort Madison, we just had some breakdowns that just killed us in that game. But last Friday against Davis County, yeah, you could see it. This week in practice, you could see it. I was talking to Dan Harris tonight, and I said, tomorrow night senior speeches. And I said, you ready for that? And he goes, no, I'm not ready for that. And it's a tradition that I brought here is the seniors will get up in front of the whole team and just tell their kids what it's like to be a Big Red football player. And, sometimes it's pretty emotional for some kids, and sometimes it's not. But it's a way of bringing those seniors together for one last time as they stand together. And for me, from a coaching perspective, and Chad can speak to this too, it's really nice and really makes you proud to see these kids that you've been with for 4 years coming to their senior year. They get up and they start talking about what it's like to be a Big Red football player, what's it like to wear the school colors and to be in the school and everything. And it's a pretty special moment. And it just kind of solidifies that senior class and brings them together. And the juniors and the sophomores, they'll be sitting there listening to that. They know the importance of that last game, no matter playoff implications or not. That last game was pretty special. And Tyler Fagan's sitting here. He's a player here at Hy-Vee, and he knows he's gone through that. He knows what that's like and to be in that locker room at that time. So it's pretty special. Tomorrow night's practice will be pretty special for those kids, and it's a great way to not end their season because we want to play Wednesday, but to bring it and have a home game. That's always special on your senior night.
Well, we talked to Coach Whitlow earlier. They're in the playoffs, so you don't find out. There's no sister district necessarily this year. You won't find out 100% for sure if we win Friday night who you would play on Wednesday. Chad and I have talked. We think there's a good chance it could be Donaldson centrally, but that's not guaranteed, obviously. You won't find out until in the wee hours of the morning or the next morning when you get up, depending on whether a person has to be in the middle of the night or not. But you don't have a lot of time to prepare for that. So, if we win on Friday night, obviously there's going to be a lot of jubilation. But then it's back to work immediately, right?
Yeah, I went and looked at the association's manual, and they have it outlined on the playoffs. And then Todd Tharp sent out email letter to all the coaches and athletic directors this week. And basically their game plan is to have those who qualified for the playoffs done by midnight, and then to have the pairings done by 2 o'clock in the morning and no later. That's their goal. They set a rule in a couple years ago that the first round games, you cannot travel over 125 miles to your opponent because some of the 8-man games and also some of the 1A games are just getting ridiculous on how far you had to travel. So there's a 125-mile radius that you could go, which is eliminated the sister districts. It used to be the sister districts. You pretty well knew what's going on. Looking at everything that we know, like you guys have kind of figured out, Central League, they're going to be district champs over there. They fit within the criteria of the mileage, and so it looks like we will go there because a 4, which is what we would be, plays a 1, the 2 plays a 3, and crossovers. So, and the state always tries not to have inter-district play in the first round. They try to, by all means, not to have that. We will get, in film exchange, we'll get 7, 8, and 9 films that's from the manual, and those usually get transferred by some electronic means. If they don't have electronic means, and you got a coach in the car meeting some other coach halfway and exchanging DVDs, and then back you go. And then we'll practice probably a walkthrough practice Saturday from 5 to 6:30, and then Sunday afternoon practice from 2 to 4. And then Monday and Tuesday we'll practice after school at regular time, and then Wednesday be on the bus and head for most likely Donaldson.
All right, we will grab a quick break. We'll come back, and let's talk a little bit more about the CMB game, what you expect to see from CMB, and what we can expect to see from the Big Reds on Friday night. Coach talked about senior speeches. Friday night's a very special night as well for the seniors because there's going to be a few extra folks in the locker room. So we'll talk about that as well. We'll come back with the wrap-up right after this on Hy-Vee's The Pit.
Hello, this is Billy Thomas of the Thomas Funeral Home. Have you considered the benefit of advanced funeral planning? You plan for your first car, your first home, your children's college, and your retirement. Planning makes sense. Guaranteed pricing, peace of mind, and the alleviation of stress on your family are just a few of the benefits of advanced funeral planning. Please feel free to pick up the phone or stop by the funeral home with any questions regarding advanced funeral planning.
Call the Thomas Funeral Home in Centerville at 856-4321 or in Bloomfield at 664-2353. Chico Construction provides a complete line of excavating equipment for all your water, sewer, and building needs. Whether it be residential, commercial, or agricultural, Chico Construction can help. Serving Centerville and Southern Iowa for more than 40 years. Call Dave McCann at Chico Construction, 895-1980. That's Dave McCann at 895-1980. Chico Construction. For all your excavating needs, remember,
McCann can.
Sales and Associates Cook Insurance in Centerville and Corridon is proud to be a part of the Pitch Sports Show. Give Sales and Associates a call today at 888-767-0239. That's 888-767-0239. Call them locally in Centerville at 856-3375. That's 856-3375. For all your insurance needs, call Sales and Associates Cook Insurance in Centerville and Corridon. Seasons are changing and winter will be here before we know it. So what are you waiting for? It's time to play some golf. Lots of golf before winter. Call the Preserve on Rathbun Lake at 724-1400. That's 724-1400. The Preserve on Rathbun Lake is Southern Iowa's premier 18-hole championship golf course. It is a beautiful facility, and they have a full-stocked pro shop as well. So you can not only play your best, but you can look your best, and you can have the finest equipment available. The Preserve on Rathbun Lake. Call 724-1400.
You are listening to The Pitch on KCOG Centerville, and one of the things we just talked about off the air, and before we get into the CMB game, and this, Coach, also, I guess, goes with how special it is to be a playoff team. This is the last year for the 4 teams in the playoffs. So after this year, it gets even more difficult to become a playoff team.
Yeah, it does. After this year, there'll only be 2 teams from each district that will qualify for the playoffs. And then what the state's going to do in their scheduling, instead of having a schedule where you go Wednesday, Monday, Friday, it'll be Friday. So it gives the kids a week to prepare for each game. If you have a kid that gets bummed up or an ankle or whatnot, it gives them time to recuperate. So this is the last time that they'll have 4 from each district going, and so we'll take advantage of the situation.
Well, the other thing we talked about is, if we can win this game on Friday night, and you're into playoffs, you have a 3-6 record, but at the end of the day, you'd be 3-3 in district play and 3-3 in 2A play. All of our non-district games were 3A teams, which is a class ahead of where we are.
Yep, they are. Even though 2 of those teams are the conference schools, and Sheridan and Knoxville, yeah, they are, and there is a difference. And it won't take anything away from our boys. They'll deserve it. They earned it, and that's what you have to do in the sport of football. It's unlike any of the other sports. You don't get a second shot. This is your shot. The season's your shot. Like basketball and wrestling and all the other sports, they have tournaments at the end, and everybody gets a shot to go back and get an opportunity to compete at the state level. And for football, you got to earn it. And whatever the system is, if we win Friday night, we earn to go to Central League.
Well, let's talk about CMB a little bit more. What you expect to see from them on the offensive side of the ball? What do we expect they're going to come out and try to do?
Well, they'll come out in multiple formations, and they like to mix it up with the run and the pass. Their passing game is screens, short passes. If you're low asleep, they'll throw the big one on top of you.
but you're going to see a number of combinations of offensive sets. They'll go to a spread, which is 3 receivers one side, 2 receivers the other. They'll go maybe quads, 4 and 1. They'll run motion. They're gonna really challenge our defense, and those guys have got to stay focused and be ready and call out what they see. Sometimes they'll run a double tight spread look or a slot look. It's just a lot of combinations going on. The running game was pretty potent there, but again, with injuries, we'll just have to see who shows up or gets off that bus. So we're going to really have to play tough defense. And as Coach Kovac has said this week, we're going to play our game, which I understand tremendously what he's trying to do. Get our kids believing in what we've done so far. Don't try to do anything we're not capable of doing. Just do what we do and do it well. And then from a defensive standpoint, they run a 3-5-3. And then sometimes when you go double tight, they'll roll people up. So again, kind of looks like maybe a 6-2 look. So they're a very well coached football team. They got, as Team Fry used to say, they have a number of exotics. They've got numerous kickoff formations with onside kicks, pop-up kicks. They ran halfback passes. They ran fakes out of their punts. So we're really going to have to be on all cylinders, knowing that they can come with anything at any time, and make sure that we got everybody covered up.
And it is a special night. Senior dads in the locker room. I know that always brings a little bit more emotion and hopefully a little bit more intensity.
Well, it does. I've done this ever since I was a head coach, and my philosophy on that is that these kids grow up so fast. You got them in diapers, and next thing you know, they're on bicycles. Next thing you know, they're in cars, and next thing you know, they're graduating down at Lakeview. And so, we honor the moms at Spirit Night. We give them a corsage to say thank you for what they've done, and then the dads, we have them come in and be honorary coaches the last game. And they get to, if they want to be on the sidelines with the kids, they can. So they get that last 48 minutes of, a kid's senior night at home to be with them. They come in the locker room. If they want to say a few words, they're more than able to do that. They can talk to the team. But they're going to be there. They're going to, watch their kid go through everything from a close-up view. And it does. It brings a lot of emotion, good emotion, to the locker room. I know I had experience of a Regina kid one year. It was senior night, and they didn't end up winning the game, quite honestly, but the kid came up to me and he was crying afterwards. And I said, what's wrong? And I said, because we lost. He says, no. He says, that's not it. And I said, what's happened? And he says, well, my dad came in the locker room tonight and talked. And I said, yeah, it was a split family situation. The kid hadn't seen his dad for a number of years and came in for that game and gave a great speech. And he says, I never heard my dad say those words to me. And so, that's not found on the scoreboard. That's not a win or a loss, but for that kid, he'll always remember that night. So that's what we try to do. We try to give the human element, the family element, and try to let people know that it's just not about the wins and losses, but it's about these kids, that they do have a human side, and the parents are an important part of it.
We got about 60 seconds left. Friday night, Big Reds at home, just one game, 7 o'clock kickoff, playing for a right to go to the postseason, playing a CMB team that on paper it looks like a pretty even match game. We've got them at home. Basically senior night for us, and we should have good intensity. I'll give you a chance to address the public and the importance of them coming out Friday night and why these kids deserve a huge crowd to hopefully send them off to the playoffs.
Well, these kids worked extremely hard, and I've been around to see them. They started back in November, some of them, and through December and through the winter months and the spring months, and they've given it their all. They have been a team that's come together. Yes, we don't have the great win-loss record, but by gosh, they've worked hard. And if you've got don't have anything to do Friday night, come down to Paul Johnson's Field. Let those kids know that you're supporting them, and it makes a huge effort. I know the kids know who's up there. They know what's going on. They hear the sound. It provides energy to them on the sidelines. So, like I said, come out and support the Big Reds.
All right, before we do go, give us the health update. The nice thing about last Friday night, other than we saw Taylor Mistich still nursing that ankle, but we're about as healthy as we had been. It was real nice to have both Reinhardt and Grothy on the field for just a rare situation where that's happened. What is our health situation for this?
The health situation, I would say Misfits will play probably around 75%, but we're the healthiest we've been since the first game against Sheraton. And what's nice about Grothy and Reinhardt is they're getting into playing shape. They were gone for so long. And once they got back, they're getting their legs under them, they're getting the feel of the game and stuff. So, except for Misfits, about 75%, and that's good for where he's come from. We'll have everybody in uniform. Everybody should, have the opportunity to get on the field.
Mike O'Connor, Mark Decker will have the play-by-play if you can't get to the game, but we'd sure love to see a big crowd down there Friday night to send these Big Reds to the postseason. For Chad Lee Koestner and Josh Bryce and all of our guests, we'll send Chad home to watch his Mets, who are up 6-0 now. Cub fans probably beginning the morning process. We're going to get out of here. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm Russ W. Ocker saying so long.